So, who do you think I am? No, really, who have you decided who I am? Is it maybe from me being in your life for a short period of time, or based on a particular incident, or a story that you were told, maybe through the grapevine or rumor mill, so to speak? You know, those sideways conversations, that strange glance that you get, or, well, you're just that type of person. Welcome back, because today we are Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and we're pulling back the wizard's curtain. Yep, this is the place where we indulge on chatting about real-life weirdness, everyday growth, and the occasional, ego bruising. All with a bit of jest, and to not let life get you down. So if you're new here, I'm Colleen, your host, and I am so very grateful that you stopped by today. Do keep in mind, dial 911 if you are in need of medical attention or emergency services. As a life coach, I am here to help coach you with general guidance and, those useful wellness tools for everyday living.
Colleen, podcast and voice artist.
Let's jump into today's conversation. We're going to talk about assumptions, invisible bullying, and those whisper campaigns. All right, let's get real. We've all been there at one point or another, maybe even saying out loud, "This is like high school." Yep. And one day, you're living your life, you're showing up authentically. Maybe you're out there sharing your truth, sharing your teachings, sharing your journey. And wow, then suddenly, you become the villain in someone else's screenplay. To them, your story, it's not real. You very apparently have been lying. You've made the whole thing up. Your story, it just is not true. Your growth, it's just a performance. Your wisdom, it's all fake. And oddly enough, suddenly the people talking about you, they're no longer talking to you. But they sure do find a way to be talking to everyone else and then giving you the silent treatment that just gets louder when it travels in groups. Those group people, those rumor people, those gossipers, we call them flying monkeys. Again, Wizard of Oz referral. So let's call it, though, what it really is. It is invisible bullying. And bullying is harassment. This invisible bullying, it's the kind where no one sends you the message directly, but you still can feel it. That energy that comes in kind of sideways? All of a sudden, maybe even the phone stops ringing. Remember those, "Hey girl, I'm just checking in" messages that, they just don't come in anymore. But here's the twist to all of this. It's actually welcoming. It's a moment of clarity. Here's what I've learned. People don't always respond to you. They respond to their idea of you that they have developed. They respond to their projections. Their unresolved stuff that they have going on. Their triggers that you maybe even unknowingly danced on. Yep. And it's hard when someone calls your truth a lie. When you've been living the losses, you've done all the healing and you're working on rebuilding your life. But remember, most people on the other side, they're doing the very best that they can. And that's where I talk about the compassion. With the level of emotional fluency that they have going within themselves. And again, this is where compassion and forgiveness comes in. This is where the clarity comes in. You can see who's really there with you and who maybe never has been. They've been the flying monkey all along. And then some people, they were taught that if you spoke up and said something, oh my gosh, you are being confrontative. And being confrontative, that is being a challenge. So instead, sometimes people sit back and choose to process with others, aka it's gossip. They gather that choir of agreement, so to speak, so that they can soothe their ego rather than reaching out, asking, and sitting in an honest dialogue. And then where you left, you're left wondering why someone who once called you their real soul sister, they now act like you have some type of contagious disease. And boy, does it sting. So here's where your power within lives, okay? You don't have to chase down every misunderstanding. Someone goes silent on you. The first thing you want to do is you want to reach out and say, hey, what happened? What did I do, right? This is so hard because you want to resolve whatever the issue is because that's what we're taught to do, right? But you don't have to run out there and immediately defend your name in every room that you are not in. And you most certainly don't have to shrink your light to make it easier on others who may in fact indicate that they're carrying the burden of this gossip or rumor. So what do? Well, you can stay open-hearted and remember that this clarity is actually providing you a reason to be able to take a better look at yourself and what's going on. Keep yourself on what they call the clean side of the street. Here's why I'm saying this. You do not want to become what they say you are just to make their story make sense. And trust me, this happens. This happens. You hear that gossip so much. You get that gut feeling so intently. Like me, I was told I didn't have enough tenacity. So what happens? Draw in that male ego, and guess what? Those people didn't like me even more. I stood up for myself. And when you start questioning yourself and you subconsciously begin to become that person that they made you out to be, you think this will make things all better, right? Or out of resentment for what they said and did. But it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes keep in mind that the silence, it isn't passive. It's, as I indicated earlier, it's clarity, it's protection. And sometimes, that distance, it feels cruel. But it's not cruel. It's helping you to be able to reflect on yourself. And besides, if everyone truly understood you, it'd probably mean you weren't growing at all, right? Because growth is so deeply misunderstandable. And growth can happen every moment of every day as life goes on. So if today someone has got you all wrong, you know my saying, let them. Thank you, Mel. Go ahead, let them whisper, let them guess, let them assume, let them write their little fictional novels. While you can be out there living your total nonfiction life with your whole heart, with humor, and with full integrity. And, anyone really wants to know who you are? Well, they need to come and ask. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with me today. And remember, your story is still sacred, even when it's misunderstood. You're not here to be everyone's cup of tea. You're here to be your own warm mug of cocoa sprinkled with your truth, your perspective. Stay positive, think positive, and keep those vibes. Colleen signing off here for the week, and catch you next time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. This helps our algorithm. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, look for the hype button and hit me up. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Just Colleen. Have a fantabulous day.